As a kid, the only thing you want is to be like everybody else in a way. You just want to be like normal. You know, growing up and having some learning disabilities was hard. I ended up in classes with kids that were really like disabled, so none of the name stuff really bothered me. I always had a lot of confidence. What fazed me was the fact that it was hard for me to read. It was hard for me to learn and pick up things, and math and different things like that were just a real giant pain in the ass for me to try to figure out. I think really what ends up happening to people is your weaknesses are actually blessings in disguise in a lot of ways, because you end up being so much stronger in other areas. And my mom, you know, she's super sweet, and she came over and she's like, you know what? She's like, who's the fastest kid in your school? I'm like, I am, I outrun all of them. She's like, who's the strongest kid in your school? I was like, me? She's like, your day will come, just hang in there. There's many situations that kind of led to me lifting, because it wasn't just like one day I woke up and I was like, I need to lift. Having two older brothers was a cool situation, because we always played sports and did a lot of similar things together, beat the hell out of each other, did a lot of wrestling. My brothers tried to make me lift. They were way into it. My oldest brother, Mad Dog, he was 8 years older than me, so he threw a bar in my back and tried to have me squat, and I hated it. My dad would take us to wrestling matches and stuff like that, and of course, we'd practice all that on each other. And me being the baby of the family, I took the brunt of it and got my ass kicked all the time. And so I'd usually end up crying, and then my mom and dad would yell at my brothers. We wanted to be like the Ultimate Warrior, like Macho Man, and like Hulk Hogan. But that inspired me to want to work out, and my brothers were already into working out as well from watching the wrestlers being so big and jacked and everything. The switch into kind of taking it more seriously came about because I was playing with my football one day, just playing by myself because I was a loser, didn't have any friends. And my brother's friend says, hey, Bell, throw me the football. Turn around, throw him the football. Takes my football, my favorite football, and punts the damn thing into the woods, kicks it as hard as he possibly can. And I just remember having a kind of a feeling of like hopelessness, but I wanted to be able to like right that wrong that happened. I don't want to ever be in a situation where someone can take advantage of me like that. I already knew about training, I was already lifting at the time, just started to take it more seriously and even get into competing in powerlifting. The local gym that I went to was mainly powerlifters. I remember going into the gym one day and I was doing some bench pressing, and the guy came over and he took some weight off the bar, and I was like, oh, I'm still using that. He goes, no, I know you're still using it, but you're lifting like shit. And I was like, okay. You know, now I'm thinking, shit, maybe I should just go do something else or go home or something, I don't know. And so I just said, well, I guess I don't know what I'm doing. It'd be great if you could show me. And he's like, that's what I was waiting for you to say. You don't know what you're doing and you need help. And so he started to help me. He started to show me how to lift. Powerlifting wasn't popular. I set state records, I set national records. I'd do 9 lifts for the day and I'd break 9 records. But it was not anything I shared with anybody. I was kind of actually like embarrassed about it almost, because no one else cared about the sport. There was no girls involved. I think girls, that's the last thing they wanted to have anything to do with. And now you see powerlifting really empowering a lot of women, which I think is amazing. What excites me today about powerlifting is that it's very black and white. If you did the work, you're gonna get better. Everyone possesses the ability to get stronger. Doesn't matter if you're short, if you're fat, if you're old, if you're young, everyone possesses the ability to get stronger. And now, for me and for many other people, powerlifting is a lifestyle. My dad, all 5'4" of him, he influenced my life probably the greatest. My mom is a great person as well. But my dad gives like these epic speeches all the time. One of my favorite quotes from him is, part of knowing who you are is knowing who you're not. Being a powerlifter and trying to compare yourself with the best in the world all the time, release a burden off of me in a way where it's like, you know what, I don't care if I'm like that guy. I'm gonna match myself, I'm gonna keep striving for that, I'm gonna keep trying to make myself better. That's what the whole mission was about in the first place. The journey to try to be quote unquote great can be maddening. And instead of trying to be great, you should try to be good all the time, because if you're consistently good over a long period of time, you'll be so much further ahead of people. I'm not just a savage in the gym. I'm working just as hard, or if not harder, outside the gym. The lessons that I learned under the bar, the lessons I learned in the gym, I take those lessons, I take those hard times, I take that hard work, and I put it into other things in my life. And I think a lot of other people can do the same. If you have the ability to change your body, you have the ability to lose 5% body fat, if you have the ability to increase your bench press by 10 pounds, then you have the ability to make other changes in your life as well that are going to be positive and have a huge impact on the rest of your life.